Hey there, so in this video I'm going to be going over some techniques that you can use to write bars in your head. I'm actually going to be writing the bars in my mind along with you so that I can better explain the techniques in this video. So I think this is very important to learn if you're someone that wants to improve as an MC but are very busy. It's actually the reason why I learned how to write bars in my head. So I've had jobs in the past where I was working like 8 hours or more, and I knew after work I'll have this obligation to deal with and that to do and this and that. So I really didn't have enough time to write my bars and improve my skill as an MC. So I started learning how to write my bars. I'd be doing some menial tasks at work, some tasks that didn't really require so much focus. So I'd use that time, that opportunity to actually write bars in my head. And over time, the skill of writing bars in my head got stronger, got better, got easier. And this is the exact framework that I used and still use to this day to write bars in my head. So you're going to start with a theme for your verse. Why? Because you can try and write these flashy bars, these wordplay type bars that make the crowd freeze and go, ooh, what did he just say? But that's going to be a lot harder. You got to think you don't have paper to refer to, because I actually find it personally easier to write side notes when I'm writing, write rhymes here and there, so that I don't have to have all these words in my brain. I can actually put them out in front of me and think visually and actually see what I'm trying to create. But you don't have the opportunity to do this. You're writing bars in your head. You could be walking, you could be doing some other activity too. So you need to make this as simple as possible. So to get this theme, you're going to look into your memory, right? You're going to look into what's currently going on in your life right now. So for example's sake, this is full on example. Everything that I'm doing here is just an example, just to help you visualize and better understand. So let's say in my life, what's going right now, the main theme right now, what's going on is betrayal, right? So I've got memories of this person betraying me and that person betraying me. So we're going to make the theme of the verse betrayal because it's just easier. I've got memories, it's actually going on in my life right now, or it has happened, right? So you're going to go into your memory bank for this. And then you're going to, now that you got a theme, I've got my theme betrayal, you're going to think about the emotion that it makes you feel. So hatred, betrayal makes me feel hatred, makes me feel pissed off, angry, right? So, and then from there, you're going to start your statement off. You're actually going to come up with a statement in your head. Any statement that comes to mind, it don't need to be flashy, something expert, don't need to be any of that. So my statement is, for example's sake, this life we live is full of hate and ominous, right? Now you've got this life we live is full of hate and ominous. You're going to have to rhyme that, right? So instead of going through in your head what rhymes with hate and ominous, you can go over your memory bank and see events that have happened that could rhyme with this statement that you're using. So people have made promises to me. So this life is full of hate and ominous. People are so good at making promises. Good. Now we've got our first two lines, right? I've got my first two lines here, my example lines. And now I like to use associations to keep me going. It's just a simple way to keep writing, to keep going. So what is associated with promises? Well, breaking them, delivering on those promises. It's something you do to someone you care about, so many things. So I can pick one of those associations and I'm going to pick breaking them, not delivering. So I can go, people are great at making promises. People are great at making promises. So this life we live is full of hate and ominous. People are great at making promises, but then they don't follow up, but that doesn't really match. So you're gonna have to think of a better way to say it. So a better way to actually say they don't follow through on their promises, they break the promises, that keeps the verse going and it sounds a way better than just they don't follow through, is but go ghost when it's time to deliver. So this life we live is full of hate and ominous. People are great at making promises, but go ghost when it's time to deliver. Another thing you can use to keep going, just a simple technique, is rhyming, right? So you're going to go over all the words that rhyme with deliver right now. That's what I'm going to do. So deliver, bigger, sinner, killer, winner, beginner, nigger, so on and so forth, whatever comes to your head, right? And just going off, because you're using your mind here to write bars, so it's whatever comes to your head. So this life we live is full of hate and ominous. People are great at making promises, but go ghost when it's time to deliver. Betrayal left me with the mind of a sinner. Right now I've got 4 bars. Now this is key. Once you got 4 bars, you're going to write in 4-bar segments, because you're using your memory. It's a lot harder, believe me, to keep track of this if you've never done this before. You're going to write in 4-bar segments, and then when you get your first 4 bars, you're going to go over them again. You're going to go over them until they're locked in your memory, and you can do it just swift like that. So I'm going to multiple times say This life we live is full of hate and ominous. People are great at making promises, but go ghost when it's time to deliver. Betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. People are great at making promises. This life we live is full of hate and ominous. Sorry, I messed it up there, but that's why you need to repeat it over. So when you get your first 4 bars, repeat it over and over again, and then go on to the next 4-bar segment that you're gonna write in your head. And how are we gonna know that it's a bar? How are we gonna track the bars? We're gonna use rhymes. People are great at making promises. Rhymes with this life we live is full of hate and ominous. So promises is the last word of that second bar basically, and that's how you're gonna know that, okay, that's 2 bars, that's a bar. So at the end of your sentence you put a rhyme there, and that's how we're gonna keep track of whether it's a bar that we've written or not. And again, you're gonna do this in 4-bar segments because it's just easier if you break it up like this to remember, all the way till you get 4 4-bar segments, which is a 16 bar, and you have a verse, and then you're gonna remember this. So let's keep going. So I've got betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. And again, to keep this going, to keep it simple, to actually help you keep writing, you're gonna use your memory bank. What's actually happening right now based on this topic? All right, so betrayal has happened to me, so I'm looking for the person that's betrayed me. So I gotta say this in a way that rhymes, right? Remember, rhyme is the language of rap. That's the way I like to think about it. Rhyme is the language you're using here. So you're communicating in an almost different language, and the name of that language is rhyme. So as long as you can find a word that communicates what you're trying to communicate, but it rhymes, put it there. So betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. So now I'm riding with sinners in the night trying to deliver. Let me think about that again. So betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. Now I'm riding with sinners on a dark night trying to deliver. What am I trying to deliver? Again, this is easy. Let's not complicate it. What am I actually trying to deliver? Revenge, right? So I can say swift, sweet revenge. Betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. Now I'm riding with sinners on a dark night trying to deliver swift, sweet revenge, right? And you're going to go from the top. This life we live is full of hate and ominous. People are great at making promises, but go ghost when it's time to deliver. Betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. Now I'm riding with sinners on a dark night trying to deliver swift, sweet revenge. Right? And then you're gonna keep doing that. Just keep reciting your bars because you don't want to forget what you previously wrote. Right? The trick to writing bars in your head is actually remembering. It's actually memory, right? Once it's locked in your memory, boom, those bars are there. You might not even need to write it down. But that's what I've got so far. So I'm trying to deliver swift, sweet revenge. Now, this is the point where I really get stuck. So I've got something like swift, sweet revenge. I've talked about some of the things that are happening. I really don't know what to put next, right? Trying to multitask and remember these bars in my head. Probably already got something else going on with my hands or something. How do I get over this? So I've got rhymes that I can use, but I don't really want to rhyme swift, sweet revenge just yet. You know, I can't think of any rhyme that makes sense. Got associations. I can use that. I can think of associations again. I've got the memory bank. But then there's another cue that I like to tell myself that works every time, and that's a series of life experiences. So you've got your main topic, betrayal, which everybody experiences at some point in life. Now you can talk about it from what you've seen, from what you've experienced. So I can say, trying to deliver swift, sweet revenge. Well, in my own life, I've seen that people don't mind using each other, you know, to get a step up, right? They happily do that. So how do I put this in verse form? People are amused to use people. That's a good internal rhyme. So I could say people are amused to use each other. And now maybe I can try and rhyme swift, sweet revenge to keep me going. So what rhymes with swift, sweet revenge? Sweet, sweet revenge. Streets, streets. Revenge ends. Again, this is all going on in my head, so it's actually harder than if I had it on paper. Sweet revenge, swift, sweet revenge. People are amused to use each other, and that's the reason this cycle of hatred on the streets won't end. I'm happy with that. I'll keep that. So people are amused to use each other, and that's the reason the cycle of hate on the streets won't end. So back to the top again. Every time you write a new bar, you gotta make sure, because you focused on that bar, it took a lot of your mental energy. You gotta make sure that you're not neglecting the other bars and you're not forgetting them. So This life we live is full of hate and ominous. People are great at making promises, but go ghost when it's time to deliver. Betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. Now I'm riding with sinners on a dark night, trying to deliver swift, sweet revenge. People are amused to use each other, and that's the reason the cycle of hate on the streets won't end. With a long statement like that, that's not one bar. I'm going to break that into like 2 bars. I'll actually write these on the screen when I'm editing, so you can actually get a better visual and you see what I mean. I actually break that into 2 bars because that's way too long for me to be a bar. When I do try to put that on the beat later, because you've got to think you're writing in your head, you might not even be writing to a beat. When I do get to put down the beat, it's going to be too long to fit into 1 bar, so split that into 2 bars. So that's the reason the cycle of hate on the streets won't end. Again, we go back over our options. We've got rhymes, we've got associations, we've got a memory bank. What's actually happening in your life right now? If it's not happening right now, maybe it happened 4 or 5 years ago. Just go back over your memory bank and you will get ideas of what to put. And as you're doing this, keep going back over your rhymes. And remember, write it in 4 bar segments. Once you write the 4th bar, you're going to go over it again, just so you remember that 4 bar segment before moving on to the next 4 bar segment, and then you're going to spit it all together. So now I've got the cycle of hate on the streets won't end. Where do I go from there? Well, I'm going to go to associations because it's just easier for me. What's associated with betrayal and revenge and all these things? Knife in your back, you're getting stabbed in your back. So knife in your back, you're getting stabbed in your back. I just need to say that statement in a less cliche way and in a way that rhymes, in a way that communicates with this language of rhyme for me, for what I'm trying to say. So cycle of hatred on the streets won't end. You can get a knife in your back by your deepest friend. You can get a knife in your back from your deepest friend. You can get a knife in your back from your deepest friend. Yeah, that'll work. See, there's a lot of thinking. And I know I said do 4 bar segments, then go over it again, but I think I'm gonna be going over it after every bar because it's actually hard me keeping track with talking to the camera and thinking about these bars in my head, writing them as I go. So I'm actually gonna go over the whole thing again so I don't forget. This life we live is full of hate and ominous. People are great at making promises, but go ghost when it's time to deliver. Betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. Now I'm riding with sinners on a dark night, trying to deliver swift, sweet revenge. Swift, sweet revenge, trying to deliver swift, sweet revenge. People are amused to use each other, and that's the reason the cycle of hate on the streets won't end. You can get a knife in your back from your deepest friend. There you go, that's what I've got. So pretty happy with that. You can get a knife in your back from your deepest friend. Where do I go from there? Again, personal experience. Use a series of life experiences to explain your bars, to keep yourself going. You know, again, it works with our theme of memory, of our betrayal. So come from a place of ulterior motives, undercovers and snakes. Yes, just that one's pretty good. Sometimes you have that happen, you will be writing bars in your head and you think of a really clever way of putting things, and you know, it will just work, it will just fit. So come from a place of ulterior motives and snakes. There we go. So I broke that into 2 bars as well. Come from a place is a bar, and I've got pause, ulterior motives and snakes is the next bar, and that's how I'm going to write that bar. So again, I'm going over it, sorry for the repetition. This life we live is full of hate and ominous. People are great at making promises, but go ghost when it's time to deliver. Betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. Now I'm riding with sinners on a dark night, trying to deliver swift, sweet revenge. Swift, sweet revenge. Keep getting stuck on that part. See, this is why it's important to go over it again and again. But yeah, hopefully you're getting all this and you're writing it with me. So pause the video if you need be. Do it right now. You know, just practice it or internalize this and do it in your own time. Come back to this video also if you can't watch it full, because it is quite a long video, it's quite a long guide. But I really want you to understand this, because it's something that might help you if you're ever busy or if you ever need to write bars quickly in the studio or whatever. Swift, sweet revenge. People are amused to use each other, and that's the reason the cycle of hate on the streets won't end. You can get a knife in your back from your deepest friend. Come from a place of ulterior motives, undercovers and snakes. Again, this is all examples, by the way, right? I'm just giving you a template that you can use. So come from a place of ulterior motives and snakes. I come from this place. Have I got a specific experience that I can refer to that shows I come from this place? How do I know the place that I come from is full of ulterior motives and sneaks? Come from a place of ulterior motives, undercovers and snakes. Come from a place of ulterior motives, undercovers and snakes. Even my own blood brothers are fake. I think I should switch those rhymes because it sounds like I'm saying my blood brothers are fake, but I'm just trying to say brother as in one. So instead of saying my blood brothers are fake, I say snake. So switch that. Come from a place of ulterior motives, undercovers and fakes. Even my own blood brothers are snake. Lessons learned, I won't make another mistake. And that last bar that I just added there, lessons learned, I won't make another mistake, just came because I was in a row. Again, this will happen once you get into the swing. This is the importance of having a theme. Once you get into the swing of it, bars will start coming naturally. You will start talking in the language of rhyme a lot more fluently, if you know what I mean. So let's go over that to the top to see what I've got. I think I've got about 16 bars anyway. If I put that on a beat, it will be a verse. This place we live is full of hate and ominous. People are great at making promises, but go ghost when it's time to deliver. Betrayal left me with the mind of a killer. Now I'm riding with sinners on a dark night, trying to deliver swift, sweet revenge. People are amused to use each other, and that's the reason this cycle of hate on the streets won't end. You can get a knife in your back from your deepest friend. Come from a place of ulterior motives, undercovers and fakes. Even my own blood brother's a snake. Lessons learned, I won't make another mistake. Again, that's just an example verse. Use whatever you're going through in your own life. I just pulled that out of bag. I'm not actually going through any of that, so it just shows you how easy it is. So if I was to use something I was actually going through, I'd probably get a better verse. It will probably come off a lot easier for me because that's just an example. And also do your own thing, your own rhyme scheme. Don't try and copy me. This is my signature. My writing style is a bit weird and unique, so yours is too. Yours is unique. It might not be weird like mine. Yours might be a lot more straightforward. So don't try and add internals here and there and motis here and one line 12 syllables and the next line 7 syllables. You know, that flow fits for me because I've just been doing this for such a long time that I can navigate a beat, you know, a lot easier. If you're not there yet, then make sure you're following a pretty tight-knit structure and using your own signature, your own style. But I hope that helped you. So I'm just going to recap the techniques that I did use to write that verse, and they were: use your memory, it's much more accessible. What's going on in your life right now is a key question to ask before you sat there, before you're writing bars. What's going on in my life right now? Write them in 4-bar segments, and every 4-bar segment you write, you're going to go back over that 4-bar segment till you feel confident that you've memorized it, and you're going to know it's a bar by the rhyme at the end. So once you write a sentence in your head and it's got a rhyme at the end, that's your bar, and you're going to do that for the next sentence and the next one till you get 4 of them, and then you're going to go back over again and then continue this until you got 4 times 4 segments, which is 16 bars. Keep it going by thinking of associations, words that rhyme, and a series of real life experiences. And last but not least, this one is king. Go over the same bars in your mind multiple times, right? So there you go. With those things, this should take you about maybe an hour, 1 hour 30 minutes, maybe even all day if you're new to this to do. But once you become seasoned, it what becomes stronger. It will take about 30 minutes, 25. It takes me about 20 minutes sometimes to just write a quick 16 in my head, then I'll write the next 16 and it will be all good. Actually easier for me to write on paper, but this is something I might do every now and then if I haven't got the chance to write on paper. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, hit the like button so that someone else can see it and benefit from it. If you're a subscriber, I know it gets old, but I'd like to say a big thank you. I really do mean it, because you're the reason the channel's still here. There'll be no one to make videos for if you weren't subscribed, so thank you very much. Again, use this video, come back to it, use it however you like. It's there for you. It's a full guide, so enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next video.